Merry Christmas. It's Rob with a new video for you. I hope you guys like it. It's probably one of my more important videos because I've got a lot of new things I found on this. So take a look. You know, for the people that are new to this channel or watching one of my videos for the first time, I noticed like a little over 2 years ago that the planet was covered with reoccurring patterns. So what is a reoccurring pattern? A reoccurring pattern is two areas of the planet that line up. It doesn't have to be just two either, it could be more. But see this area right here and this area? When you bring them together, they line up, but so do other areas, like right here. See how that goes right there, and then this fits in here and then wraps around here. And then also you'll notice that this has that U in it that lines up with this, like that. And you can see that this lines up in here, and so on and so on. This lines up there. You can even bring it in, and it will line up again in other areas as it comes in. You'll notice that this is arched, and it looks like this rotates around and making these lines. Is also the same size as this opening right here and the arch. See how the arch matches? See how that matches? Like a tube. And then because it's spinning, it matches this way too as it comes in. See? And lines. Like I said, it doesn't just have to be two areas that line up. It can be more than two. It could even be three. It could even be four. See the opening? It can be 5. It could be 6. It could be 7. It could even be 8. there's something about reoccurring patterns that they can tell you things that plate tectonics cannot. For instance, you see this area right here. This is Vietnam, the Philippines, and you'll notice that directly on the other side of the planet is North America. So what happens if I take this area and push it through to the other side? Let's take a look. Okay, if I pushed it through to the other side, it would come out reversed like this. This looks like a dude on a sea-doo or something, or a wheelchair or something. I don't know. This right here is a point of rotation, and it's a significant part of the creation of this planet. And that's the big secret about reoccurring patterns that plate tectonics cannot go against or compete with. And the secret is that all the reoccurring patterns come from one small reoccurring pattern. And that's the beauty of this. This is what's going to prove that I'm right in the end, because there's no getting around that. All the planet's features I can trace back to a small reoccurring pattern. And that's something. That means a lot. That changes everything. And see, that's why I'm never worried about being debunked or anything like that, because I already know certain things about this that it locks it in. And just like locking it in, watch as I lock this into the east coastline, and maybe you'll start to begin to see what I'm talking about. See how I backed right in and lined up? But he lined up in every place. Look, as he backs in here, you can see that there's this lining up with that, but then there's this getting completed with that, and then you got the marks on Florida right here from this. See how Florida's got that line down the center, and it's got these 4 or 5 dots on it. You can see what made that whole texture right there, right, like that. If that's not enough, I can just drop this down too to show you. And if that's not enough, I can show you more. But let's bring it back here, because the beauty of these reoccurring patterns is, like I said, they're all related, because as you can see that this fits into there, you can tell that this is responsible for Florida. But the same thing that's responsible for Florida in this area is also responsible for the Gulf of Mexico, because you can see this is where it gouged it out. It fits really good, and it's gouging this out as it comes along. And then this rotation right here, you could imagine it just going right up into the Gulf of Mexico and doing its job. And then you got the Mississippi lining up with this guy and the Madrid Fault. And you can see that the Great Lakes are related to these things right here. Now you can see as I'm coming this way, this fits into there. And when that fits into there, this goes over, and it looks like it starts to gouge out the Baja California. The same thing that made Florida, looks like it's related to that, along with the California Basin. And then this looks like it rotates into Yellowstone Park, or this actually might be right here, because Yellowstone Park looks like a rose with a stem that goes straight to the Grand Canyon. So we got, look at this lining up with the Grand Canyon somehow, as it seems to go with Yellowstone Park, because I've said this before and I stand by it. Yellowstone Park, the Grand Canyon, Hawaii, and now Lake Tahoe, I believe, are all related to the same process that made them. They're the same thing. They're just different moments in time. What they call Yellowstone Park a supervolcano, I call it a point of rotation. And here's that point of rotation. And let's see it rotate. Oh, look at that. Wow. This Yellowstone Park, this is the Grand Canyon right here in the middle of that star. As I line this this area up with this, because I know it's shaped like that. As a matter of fact, it looks like the star comes first. Does this thing right there. Comes in here. Probably where it rotates. And I believe this rotates a little bit more. Like there, like that. And then you can see that you got these, this is from electrical, by the way. I don't know if I mentioned that to you, that it couldn't be more obvious that this planet is made by a massive electrical phenomena. It's what made everything, and it came from the core of the planet, by the way. Planets, in my opinion now, I don't think planets are made by gravity. They're made by the core that they have. The core inside the planet is what makes the planet to begin with, I believe. Because I believe that these images are of our planet's core, and I believe it's electrical, not iron. And they base it on iron because they claim that they measured how fast earthquake waves travel through the core of the planet and blah 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 blah. Well, basically it's not 100% accurate. And not only that, hot iron doesn't produce magnetic fields anyway. So you got to consider that. I've been told that a large amount of hot iron will. Well, a large amount of hot iron won't fluctuate though either. Though it won't have cycles, like it won't cycle up and down like ours does. It gets weaker, stronger, weaker, stronger. Electrical does that, not magnets. I don't know where they see. I don't trust anything now with data, because I trust what I see with my own eyes, because my own eyes are telling me that there's plate tectonics has never been right and it never will be right. But people can go ahead and keep on believing in it if they like to be lied to, I guess. But I can make up my own mind with this right here. I can show you how the biggest mysteries of the planet are actually created. Stuff like the Eye of the Sahara, Italy's boot, where Italy got its mountains. I can show you how every shape of of the continents and features were created with its own images. Plate tectonics can't do that because everything's random. You got too many plate collisions. They're one of a kind in plate tectonics, but I can show you that they're not. They're actually part of this process that created the planet. There's no collisions. Like the Himalaya mountains, that's not from a collision. I can guarantee you that 100%. And I could debate anybody that wants to on that, and I'll show you my evidence. Reoccurring patterns defy plate tectonics because they cross subduction zones, they cross plate boundaries, they even cross the mid-Atlantic ridge, they even reoccur as the mid-Atlantic ridge, these reoccurring patterns. On the surface features, you can see triangular shapes all over the place. Like right here, here, it's like one of the main things in our planet. Everything seems to come to like a triangle point. Even this guy right here, and this guy looks like a bigger version of that. You just cross over here, here's some more. They're everywhere. And what could have made such a feature, like this? And I can't believe that nobody's ever looked into this, because here's another one. Even Florida. Even the entire country of South America comes to that point like that. So does Africa. Looks like a bigger version. And then you have what they call faults. What they are claiming are faults. Right here, you can see that this looks very much like a vortex because it looks like it's spinning. And it looks like it comes to a point. And what I want to do is show you that this is one of the main reoccurring patterns. And to prove it, I want to align it with other features. And I'm just wondering, out of curiosity, how many alignments would I have to make with this, like for somebody to understand that plate tectonics is wrong? Because the one thing that plate tectonics cannot do is it cannot account for these alignments. And if there's anybody out there that thinks otherwise, please leave a comment. This is spinning. It was spinning when it came to a halt, and so was Antarctica. You could see that in the features. You have this, what looks like a propeller. Right? It looks like one because it's been spinning and these edges are folded back as it spins this way. What gives it away that it's spinning is that you have this peninsula right here, and you have this clearing, smoothed area that's the same length as the peninsula wrapping around it. Okay? You got these lines that bend in, but they're not bending in because of the rotation, because it's going the wrong way. They're bending in because I think this goes deep right here, and this is sitting on top of something. You can tell that these features give away the secrets of our planet. Okay, here is the South America and Antarctica again, and here's that space in between. And you'll notice that this line coming out has what looks like turbulence of like material running through these islands. You can see the spacing is the same, but you can see that it goes over this way, and it's actually this right here. This is the same thing. It's just, here's that point right there, and here's the point right here. So this is another snapshot of the same thing, and if you look at it, you can see that it has these diagonal lines, which I'm claiming is created by rotation. And to prove this, this is a reoccurring pattern, and this is what reoccurring patterns do when you overlay them. You see this triangle piece right here? Well, it lines up here on South America. And when I bring it in, you can see it fits. Watch, let me move it back and forth so you can see it fits in there. See how the features line up and that rotation? But if you'll notice, you look over here at Antarctica, here's where it sits now. But when this was sitting here, this is where it was sitting. This was rotated to here. Okay, so I'll bring this in more, and you can see what's going on here. Here's another triangle piece here, and you can see this, what looks like a horse's face. You can see these features lining up with it and slightly rotated. And you'll notice that this dot point right here happens to line up. Well, you can see that when I put it here, it lines up there. And there, you can see its reoccurring pattern right there. And this is because this is part of a vortex. That's what I'm claiming. And the reason why I say that is because this is spinning. And you can see the knuckling right here from the rotation. This is what it is, actually, right here is making all this. Okay, I rotated it a little bit to make it fit better. So check it out as I bring it in. See, this will fit on both sides of this because this is a flip-flop right here. See how it fits this side, and it lines up right there with that. And then if I bring it over to this side, see how good it lines up? It lines up with this one. And then what else is trippy is that, okay, as I bring this in, if I move this over, you can see that that lines up with that. And these islands right here. These islands are what are responsible for all the lines that look like this on the ocean floor bottom, including the mid-Atlantic ridge. And my proof is that you can simply just line these up. I could take closer shots, and I guarantee each one of these is going to line up with the islands. And okay, so look how that lines up too with the features behind it. Wow, look at that alignment right there. Right here at the very end. This lines up, and you see how that's got that. Putting that dot right in here, you can see there it is again. You want to know what these islands are? They're this from rotating. And you can see, look at the alignment. See the you see how these are? This is proof that this is from here. Look, it's like a fingerprint matching up, like a bullet, and then it's rifling to the gun that fired it. You can tell that that's what's going on here. This is the gun, and there's the bullet, and this is the result of rotation. Now here's the thing, is that I'm claiming that this is the creation of our planet. So I'm guessing that back then the rotation of the planet may have been the same that it is now, which is 24 hours, right? So what happens if this is basically the blueprint of what created our planet by vortex and rotation, and you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days, maybe 8. It's a possibility, because watch what I can line these up to. Okay, I flip-flop this overlay to show you that it lines up both ways. When I bring it in, remember this feature right here, how it lined up there? Well, when I bring it over here, it lines up here. So that tells me that this is the back side of this. So that's saying that this is rolled. So what I want to do is take Antarctica and roll it. Okay, here's Antarctica flip-flopped, like I was saying, and I want to show you as I bring it in. You can tell that, you can see that this mountain range and stuff is arched like this. When I bring it in, you can see that the arches actually match up with Antarctica perfect, actually. You can see that as it comes in like this, you can see that it matches down here, but hold on. You see this, like, actually almost looks a lot like that point. But if you look close to line it up exactly, I think it's this one. There's a circle right there, I think. Yeah, that's it, because take a look. When I line that volcano up, you can see that these match this right here coming through. And you can see that the features align underneath with mountains and volcanoes. See, like that and this. See how these peaks match? All the way to here. Everything matches. See how this looks like this and this? Even got that V right here, this V shape. Probably like that. And then, let's see if I get it right here. And you can see this kind of lines up with that right there. The other interesting thing about that right there is that it looks like a mirror image of this. See how it's got that notch right here? This has got that notch. Almost makes me think that these might wrap around, and this might be the backside of this. Okay, so you see how that fits into there. Now check this out. As that fits up into there. Okay, yeah, so you notice here's Antarctica, but also there's this right here. I need to get a straight on shot of that, but for now I want to just show you what it looks like. You can see that it's got that reversed S thing to it. As I bring in Australia, you can see where it fits right in here. But hold on, I gotta pull it out though. Hold on. Okay, so here's Antarctica. And you can see that Tasmania is up inside Antarctica, but if you look, you can notice that this is these broken pieces of land features are scattered around it. And not only that, it looks like this fits even further in to match these mountains. And when I bring it further in, you can see that these mountain peaks start to run along the shape of Australia. You can even see these features right here, and this round circle and these round circles. You can see that each one of these knucklings seems to line up with the lines here, as if it slid in. Or even the spinning of it through this material over. See how it looks like stuff's been tossed? Look how, see, the proof is that it lines up with the knuckling. That's the hardest thing that anybody will have to try to debunk this, is you're going to have to debunk why these line up so well. And it's not by chance. Not this many times. Not when I can move it over and then line it up even better with other areas nearby. And I can. Notice how the coastline fits in there. Then the next problem people have is these islands are like teeth. And if you look on Australia, you'll see their bite marks everywhere, if this were teeth. You have to also discredit those alignments too. And I'll bring it through some more. You could basically see what chewed apart the bottom of Australia here. And then you can see how right here it fits right here. Look how that cuts right through here. And fits up with this. Right there. You can see how this fits in with the coastline right here again. And there's our circle. To match that one right there. See, that also matches, look at that, the coral reef. Look at that. See how it matches both? I'm looking at this right now, how this went through. This is electrical, I know it is. And then bring it this way, and you got other alignments too. Right in here, you see that, right? How many coincidences am I allowed before people start realizing that there's something here? Look at that, how it lines up again with that. These are reoccurring patterns. They're doing exactly as I predicted. They're reoccurring. And that's how I prove that I'm right, is because the reoccurring patterns always line up with each other. And in plate tectonics, there are no reoccurring patterns because everything is one of a kind. Every collision is one of a kind. But yet those collisions I can match up with their recurring patterns, so how can they be a collision? So if this lines up here, how does it fit over here, I wonder? Okay, so we bring this in. You kind of see that this already is matching up with one another. We got these islands right here. And they're going to match up with these points right here, of course. Yeah, see, you can see these dots right here in the same pattern as the ones below them. See? There's more right here. See the reoccurring patterns? It's like all the proof I need. I was going to show you how this fits Australia, but look at this. And then let me bring in Australia. And you can see that it fits like a glove. It really does. And the mountains even stop right where Tasmania starts to come in. You got this dot right here. It might be related to the one on Tasmania right there. Let's see this right here, though. This is where it gets interesting. How many reoccurring patterns can I show you in one picture? Before people realize that there are such things as reoccurring patterns on this planet, what are the odds that the length of this is going to be the same as these mountains? And the same width. See that? What are the odds? A coincidence, right? Look at the similarities, man. It's unbelievable. Look. Looks like a bee. This is how our planet was being created. These images give it away. They tell the story. So this also means, okay, so if this lines up like that, and then I showed you what I just showed you, then these must also be related. And you can start seeing the vortex. Antarctica is a vortex. Frozen, of course. It's not rotating at the moment. But doesn't mean it won't always be rotating. Look at that alignment right there, you can see it. The markings right here. Watch that marking right here. Look how well it lines up. Even cuts where, I bet you this is just an ice sheet right here on the tip here. And this probably follows the actual coastline. Recurring patterns, flip-flop. This is where the flip-flop happens, I bet. Alright, so let's move on. The way that you can tell if I'm right or wrong is that things fit. That's the simple thing. If I was wrong, none of this would fit. If I'm right, they have to fit. Okay, so I just got to get these lined up right. Let's put that back there like this. That fits there. This fits there. Let me pull Australia out so we can see things better, because there's just so many things here. And I know that what happens is that this comes into here, Africa comes into there, and it scoops, it rotates, and so that South America fits right here. Okay, see Africa, how it lines up right there now. Antarctica right here. See the match. How about now? See these two dots? Let me back out. That circle area. Remember, there's an ocean between these. Oh, and a mid-Atlantic ridge too. Yeah, check out the features under here on Africa. As this comes in. It's like a buzzsaw, like a chainsaw, I mean. Remember that Limp Bizkit song? It's just one of those days where you don't want to wake. Yeah, that one. I hope you know I pack a chainsaw. I'll skin your ass raw. I didn't know Obama was in that band. Now here's that chainsaw on Australia. See how it fits too right here? And then you got Tasmania up here into Antarctica. But if you look at Antarctica, you could see that there's space for it right here. Okay, so here's Australia. With that chainsaw lining up with its features. See, lining up, and then look how here's Antarctica. You can see that this wraps around the front here as this goes right here. See that right there? Okay, so now let's move. See what it looks like here. Okay, so that's Australia here, fitting in here. Look at the features up here. I'm just trying to show you how it fits in the other areas around it. You can tell, look at Madagascar. And then sometimes you just look on the features on the continent itself and you can see the alignments. Okay, so see how the markings are the same? See how that, when I move it up, it fits into Africa? This fits into there. So it's safe to say that I could take Australia and slide it over here and it would, you could see that it would line up with this. Remember, this goes here. That, you can see how it fits there. But what about, okay, so let's take a look at let me pull out, let's see if I can pull out Africa. Oh yeah, okay. Okay, so this is hard. But you can see the reoccurring pattern here, right? This is South America. Here's Australia, that fits into there, you know that. But this also fits into here, right? And this fits into here. What are the odds that I could magically line these three areas up like this? Because you know, in plate tectonics, this is a subduction zone, and this is a subduction zone. So what's this doing here in between them? With Antarctica fitting in, look at the mountains right here too. Italy's mountains, I solved it. You know how many times I've lined up Italy with different sets of mountains because they're a reoccurring pattern. And you can see that these line right up with those features. It is a little bit, I think, distorted from the curvature of the planet, but it's still basically the same. If you get straight on shots of this area, they fit better. That's all that happens. It doesn't that's why I don't worry about being discredited or anything like that, because if someone tries to go in and say, oh, I'm gonna find a way to make, show that these don't line up, they're gonna find out that it lines up better. That's the beauty of this. And then, like I said, this flap is gonna flap around and line up with these two are gonna wrap around and like clap together like hands, like when you clap your hands. Oh, that's three major areas right there that can't be. This can't be. Look, and then this right here actually kind of fits more into like that, which explains this is a double ridge or whatever. So it fits like in two places, like there and there. Alright, well, that's it for this video. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope you guys have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. There'll be a part 2 that has more stuff on this, which you probably saw some of it in the beginning, but there's a lot more going on here that I haven't said yet. So I just kind of started this off, with Antarctica, and trying to work my way up north. See you later.